Welcome everybody. My name is Michael and today we are discussing about a $60 million prize for the police. Essentially, the German police force has access to a wallet from a fraudster, someone who made his money from collecting Bitcoin from Bitcoin mining malware. So essentially, any programs that were running on foreign computers that he installed viruses on, and either through methods of mining cryptocurrency or scamming cryptocurrency, he was able to attain hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially even millions, and that grew to over $60 million worth of Bitcoin right now. Because, hello, Bitcoin, even with its crash, is still worth quite a bit from where it was a year or even 2 or 3 years ago. Now, the German police was able to recover around 500,000 euros, which is similar to 600,000 US dollars, but the grand prize is 60 million. And this fraudster has already served 2 years in prison. It doesn't go through in the article whether he's still serving time, but I do know that in Germany they're a lot more lenient with financial crimes and crime in general. Not to say that they disregard everything, but I do think, and a lot of people will agree with me, that the American criminal justice system is wrong, and there's so many cases where it's completely flawed. People get life in prison without even the possibility of parole for nonviolent crimes, and some of them do get overturned by presidential pardons, while you have other cases where someone gets a year or two for committing absolutely heinous acts. And abroad, first of all, you have a prison system that wants to make sure that you have criminals who are coming into the system, and at least the ones who are in there for nonviolent crimes, or even if they're violent, but there's some mental capacity for the prisoner to reform his ways and actually turn into, a normal class A citizen. These prison systems, for example, the one in Norway or even in Germany, there is an amazing prison that allows restitution for these criminals. They teach them life skills. They help them find a job once they're out of prison. They teach them, they have mentors, they have therapists. They try and even reform criminals, hardened criminals who have been in gangs or have committed, the number one crime, the one that you kind of, you take away someone's life. For that in America, you're essentially serving life. Even if you don't get sentenced there for life, if you get 10 years in prison, you're most likely going to come back to prison, because once you get out, it's very tough for you to basically find a job, to do anything in life. It works a little differently abroad. Now, that's a different topic. However, I believe that this guy served 2 years, and that he's probably out now. And there's some people commenting that, the German police will make sure that he's going to be imprisoned for life. They're going to continually harass him, this criminal, to make sure that he eventually does give up the password. And a lot of people are saying, well, $60 million, potentially even worth 120 or 200 or 300 million in the future. It's not their keys, so not their coins. He's not going to give it up, and, if it's 5-10 years that he has to spend in prison, for some people that would be worth it for such a large amount of money. That's generational wealth right there. This is over 1,700 Bitcoins that we're talking about. Now, the prosecution say we asked him, but he didn't say for the password, and even more so than the password, it's the seed phrase that's the most important, because you are able to recover. And they said, perhaps he doesn't know. Maybe his memory is just really bad. Or maybe, unlike what others are suggesting, where, if you lived in a totally authoritarian state where you could be indefinitely imprisoned for, just a whole list of crimes that were just kind of plotted on you with no evidence whatsoever, then, maybe they could actually blackmail you into giving $60 million up for your freedom. However, in the democratic parts of the world, which is most of the world, especially in Europe, you are going to see a case like this where he's going to get out of prison after 2 years for whatever financial crimes he did. Maybe he's reformed criminal. Maybe he's not going to go back to his old ways. And even if he does, who knows? Whatever. Maybe he turns into an ethical hacker. I don't think he's going to help the police, because he has no interest in doing so. And whether you punish him or not, he's not going to give it up regardless. So it just doesn't make sense to continually punish somebody because that's going to set a bad precedent for other crimes where maybe there's smaller amounts. You're talking about $5,000 and ruining someone's life for that. In America, there's cases where people's lives have been ruined over a $50 theft. Then they couldn't afford the bail. The bail wasn't that much, but even $1,000 bail is too much for certain poverty-stricken families out there. And then they have to sit in jail and then commit more crimes. And, it's just going to be, and there's fines piling up. And it's just a crazy cycle. This isn't the first time someone has had their coins seized by the police, and a lot of people are saying, well, how could it be seized if they don't actually have access to it? I mean, technically, they didn't seize them. In certain cases, they do have the power to grab the cryptocurrency. It all depends on how much info they have. Maybe they search through his belongings and find a notebook with the password and seed phrase, and they have the perfect power to do that. Maybe in this case where they're not able to grab his money, they're going to sell all his belongings, his car, his real estate, whatever he has on him at an auction, and try and recoup some losses and garnish his wages. Maybe in this case, they're going to decide, you know what, prison time was enough. So it all really depends. That's that. I do want to say that Bitcoin has continued to fall. Interesting. A lot of people are freaking out about the bear market right now. Well, it's January. It's a little cold outside, so it's a little cold for Bitcoin. It's chilling, maybe it comes back to 50, maybe it goes back to 60, 70, who knows? I wouldn't panic just yet, but it is something to consider. Even if we do fall into a bear market, it is what it is. It's not going to be the end of the world, that's for sure. So even if we do fall into a bear market, I guess you got to look at it positively that, hey, if we're already in a bear market, that means every single day we're closer to another bull market. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys as always tomorrow.